So, Beth, I can't do his voice. I wish I could do Anthony Hopkins' voice. I wish I could. Could you do it? You should be able to do it, Ed. A little bit.
Run away, Agent Starling. Run away all the way to the FBI.
Well, no, I was just
Yeah.
thinking. I was just thinking more of his. I was thinking more of his voice in general. Because he's from Wales.
Yeah. My dad met him once. My dad worked for Eryri National Park, and
Yeah.
he was the patron of it. He donated a lot of money for Eryri and everything. And he came to my dad's offices when my dad happened to be in there that day, and he was introduced to him, and he goes, Alan, yeah, so, oh, pleased to meet you, Sir Anthony. He goes, Sir Anthony, I'm Tony to you boys. So yeah.
I tell you what, I
Nice.
My
thought.
dad,
Go on. Sorry.
my dad, in his line of work as well, also met Angelina Jolie and did not have any clue who she was because they were filming the Tomb Raider film.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I would know who she was, but yeah, I get that sometimes. I've gone to Comic Cons before now and walked past who I found out to be really, really famous people
Hmm.
subsequently, but I'm just not interested in that genre at that time, and it's like
Yeah.
I've not given them the time of day. I walked down a corridor with Jason Momoa once, like next to him. Well, he wasn't a hulk of a bloke, but I just walked down the corridor with him. I think he was probably thinking he's not going to say anything. I was like, no, because I'm not interested in you.
I
Although,
reckon they'd love that though. They'd love it because they'd just be so used to people fawning over them. If you just have someone who's right, you're just a very big man. I don't know who you are.
yeah,
Probably love it.
it's only since I've started watching Game of Thrones now that I think, oh yeah, you were there. You were there as well in the height of it all, and I was just like, you know what, mate. Oh, yeah, like just pushing past them to get stuff. Yeah, that's me. That's me all over. Anyway,
Right.
we are here to talk today about Silence of the Lambs.
You spook easily, Starling.
Not yet, sir.
He's past the others. The last cell. I'll be watching. You'll do fine.
A killer is on the loose.
Keeps them alive for 3 days. Then he shoots them, skins them, and dumps them.
A rookie FBI agent is on his trail.
He's got real physical strength, cautious, precise, and he's never impulsive. He'll never stop.
But in order to track him down, she'll have to match wits.
I'll help you catch him, Clary.
Believe me, you don't want Hannibal Lecter inside your head.
With the darkest of all minds.
Just do your job, but never forget what he is.
Oh, he's a monster. Pure psychopath. So rare to capture one alive.
So close to the way you're gonna catch him. Do you realize that? Oh, Clarice, your problem is you need to get more fun out of life.
You told me you don't spook easily.
You call this easy, sir?
Lecter's missing hand arm.
Man's a raving maniac. Who knows what he'll do?
Thank you, Clary. Thank you.
Gents, what can I say? I've fallen back in love with this film. I watched it years ago, as you do. Like there's certain films, isn't there, that you just kind of feel that you have to watch, or there's certain films that are just very iconic, and that this is one of them. And then I probably haven't watched it for about 15 years, I guess. Slightly ruined by French and Saunders, or made better by French and Saunders. Who knows? We might talk about that in a bit. So I watched it again, and you know what? It's far more tense in parts than I remember. Actually, it's a strange one because it's not particularly not very fast paced, is it? I mean, there's not really that much gore in it. In fact, there's not very much of anything in it, and yet somehow it seems to get in your head a little bit. Not sure if that's the music, although the music is really good in parts, and then there's parts where there's no music at all that I can remember. I do remember the towards the end though when she actually realizes that she's got him, and that basement scene that felt a lot more tense than I ever remember. So yeah. But anyway, we'll come back to what I think after. So, which one of you lovely gentlemen? Ed will have watched it this week, no doubt, probably.
No, I haven't actually. I haven't had time, but I've seen it so many times and I read the book. It's all up there.
Oh, and James, is it fresh in your mind?
It's all fresh in my mind. Same, I haven't been able to watch it this week, but yes, seen it many times. Yes, and read the book as well. Yeah. So,
well, actually, yeah. You know, I've always said that I've never read a book. I think I might have lied. I might have read a chapter or two of one of these books. I think Hannibal, because I thought this might be my way to get into reading because I actually quite like the film. Anyway, I think I only got 2 chapters in. Failed again. But anyway, so I'll tell you what, James, we're going to go to you.
Okay, right. Silence of the Lambs. You cannot deny the effectiveness of this movie. I think it's brilliantly done. I don't know. I can't tell you whether I like it or not. I've never been able to decide whether I like this film or not. It's brilliantly done. It's fantastically done. Superbly acted. It's not pacey. It's quite ponderous in places. The gore that's there is effective, but it is more the implications of, you'll see the cut to the back image of the cop strung up in the cell, or Hannibal leaning in on someone with his teeth going, and it's your mind going to all the places of what happens afterwards. I suppose that's more scary. It really unsettles me, and I do like films that make me uncomfortable. I never come away from it thinking I've had a really good time watching that film, because it's disturbing, but it's remarkably done. I think that chemistry between Sir Anthony and Jodie it's remarkable, because she is so frightened of him, certainly at the start, and then they develop this understanding which obviously disturbs her as a character. I think that's very, very clever. I like the little interplay with, I've forgotten his name, but the guy, the warden of that prison that they're in, who thinks he's this, he's a mastermind, and he's got inside Hannibal's head, and Hannibal's just barely even tolerating him, and then goes after him at the end.
Is that Chilton, is it?
Chilton, yeah, that's the one. Yeah, I mean, I like that actor. I think he's cool. But I think those little touches are great. The story's fine. It is one of the rarities that I prefer the film to the book. I'm not a huge fan of Harris, I think. Not so much with this one, certainly with Hannibal, the follow-up. To me, anyway, seems to take himself way too seriously. And I don't like it. I don't like how the Clarice's character was dealt with in the Hannibal, in the follow-up either. But in terms of this movie as an adaptation of the book, I think it is really good. It's more or less faithful. But the performance is extraordinary. I used to, just because I like being a contrarian, I used to say I wish they kept Brian Cox as Hannibal Lecter from that 80s movie of
Manhunter.
What do they call it? Manhunter. Because I love Brian Cox. But
Get up against the bump and face the wall. Don't turn around or I'll mace you in the face.
Thank you so much. I'll call you when I'm finished.
Are you ready for your call?
Yes, thank you.
Paul Tro, Christensen and Golub Law Offices.
Excuse me, I must have misdialed.
Thank you for using AT&T. This is Operator 24.
Operator, I don't have the use of my arms. Would you be so kind as to dial a number for me, please?
Certainly. What's the number?
area code 301-555-6624.
The University of Chicago Department of Psychiatry.
Dr. Sidney Bloom, please.
He's not in, but I'll connect you to his office.
What's his secretary's name again?
Martha King. Just a moment, please.
Cox, but when you look at it objectively, for this film at this time, I don't really see anybody else. I can't in my head supplant Anthony with anybody else and have it be as effective. I think he judged that performance tremendously because, quietly intimidating people who are looking at you and assessing you, analyzing you, and without doing anything, and know immediately how to, flick your switches and provoke you and manipulate you. That's frightening because there are real people like that around who have that level of insight and will play with you. You're a plaything to them.
Oh, Agent Starling, you think you can dissect me with this blunt little tool?
No. I thought that your knowledge...
You're so ambitious, aren't you? Do you know what you look like to me with your good bag and your cheap shoes? You look like a rube. A well-scrubbed, hustling rube with a little taste. Good nutrition's given you some length of bone, but you're not more than one generation from poor white trash, are you, Agent Starling? And that accent you've tried so desperately to shed, pure West Virginia. What does your father do? Is he a coal miner? Does he stink of the land? You know how quickly the boys found you, all those tedious, sticky fumblings in the backseats of cars, while you could only dream of getting out, getting anywhere, getting all the way to the apple pie.
You see a lot, Doctor?
To them. And the way he manipulates his release and toying with the authorities. The whole Billy Rubin thing was quite amusing. These people are insects to him. You can't almost have the feeling this guy could walk out anytime he wanted. Bit like the Joker in the Batman comics. You stick him in Arkham Asylum, he just seems to be able to walk out of it whenever he wants. And I like that. He's intense. The main baddie of the film, disturbing character, troubled character, but I know those scenes, rubs the lotion on its skin and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, it's unsettling and it's creepy, but pales away in terms of significance. It doesn't need to be there beyond you need a baddie for them to go after together. Yeah, I think it's hugely effective. I wish they hadn't made any sequels. I think everything that's come afterwards has paled in comparison to it. On its own, it's a masterpiece. I do like, the chief actor. What forgot his name?
What?
Mads Mikkelsen.
Mads. Oh, and I love Mads. How dare I forget his name? I think he does a very good job as a new interpretation of Hannibal. But yeah, I wish it had been a standalone and left at that. And it's curious because you've mentioned French and Saunders, and we talked about it. And I think when we did one of the Bond reviews, it's one of the most parodied characters, and that scene in particular of all time. Even as early as 91, I think there was that. I don't know if you guys have seen it. National Lampoon did a comedy Loaded Weapon 1, and they parodied the scene in it. So straight away that was being parodied, and it continues to be parodied to this day. But that performance and that scene, for me, never loses its effectiveness, and that's just, I think, goes to the strength of its writing, direction, the performances of those two leads. Because I don't know if this is true or not. I never know if I'm misremembering whether Jodie, not her character, but Jodie herself, was quite intimidated in that scene, or wasn't necessarily expecting everything that happened to happen. which might have affected the way she played it, because yeah, she looks scared. So it stays with me. I'm never in a rush to watch it, but every time I do watch it, it's powerful. It impacts, and I still can't decide whether I like it or not.
Do we seek out things to covet? Make an effort to answer now.
No. We just...
Now, we begin by coveting what we see every day. Don't you feel eyes moving over your body, Clarice? And don't your eyes seek out the things you want?
All right, yes. Now please tell me how.
No. This is your turn to tell me, Clarice. You don't have any more vacations to sell. Why did you leave that ranch?
Doctor, we don't have any more time for any of this now.
But we don't reckon time the same way, do we, Clarice? This is all the time you'll ever have.
Later. Now, please listen to me. We've only got 5...
No. I will listen now.
Edward?
Hello.
Well, Edward's our official expert on this, I think.
Am I?
Says, well, you are now. You are now.
All right.
Our most well-read on this one. I've probably seen it millions of times.
Yeah. So I didn't see it in the cinema when it came out. I think I saw it when it came on to Sky Movies in the early 90s. I remember coming back in late one night and it was just starting, and I watched it with my late and much missed dad, who it wasn't his sort of thing at all, but we did talk almost all the way through. We were captivated by it. And I think if a film can captivate a 20-year-old student metalhead who thinks he knows everything about the world, and an older man who's just sort of is quite cynical about the world, at the same time, it's doing something right. And this film did what films don't do much anymore, because there's too much media out there. It captured the public animation. It became, as James has said, part of the zeitgeist almost immediately. You know, it was one of those ones, again, James has said it before, but I think sometimes imitation is the sincerest form of flattery, and parodying is a very, very sincere form of flattery, because to parody something, it has to be something people get. I mean, if someone parodied, I don't know, a Weird Ed film, no one would get the jokes. But Silence of the Lambs was so part of public perception in the early 90s that anyone parodied that, straight away, everyone did, Fava Beans and a Nice Chianti, everyone was doing impersonations of it. It really became that iconic, and it sort of catapulted Anthony Hopkins from being a well-respected actor to being a star. Jodie Foster was already famous at the time. Anthony Hopkins was famous, but he wasn't a star, a leading man star. He was an actor. He'd done all the Merchant Ivory stuff. He'd done all the classic Shakespearean stuff in the 70s, stage stuff. But this is what actually made him a star. And I think when the poor guy finally passes away, it will be Hannibal Lecter they show first on the news, because it's not a millstone around his neck, but to many people, it's his defining performance. And yeah, James, I hadn't seen Manhunter at the time, but I didn't know it existed. I thought this was a film, not a book. And I went back and read Red Dragon and was fascinated. There was another version of Hannibal. So when it came on TV, I watched it. I was like, well, I didn't like that. I didn't like him because it didn't feel like Anthony Hopkins. But Hopkins, looking in isolation, gives a turn. He gives a performance. He's not natural. He is just that smidgen inside panto with his intensity. He doesn't talk like real people talk. He talks like a villain would talk, but you forgive him because the performance is so good and so effective. And like James said, yeah, there's that thick glass between him and Clarice, or between him and Chilton, but he's the one in charge. He's locked away, but he's the one calling the shots. He's in charge. He can manipulate them to be within an inch of his life. Like James said, he could probably walk out of there and no one would stop him.
You still think you're going to walk on some beach and see the birdies? No, I don't think so. I called Senator Ruth Martin. She never heard of any deal with you. They scammed you, Hannibal. Stand outside. And shut the door. There never was a deal with Senator Martin, but there is now. I designed it. Of course, I worked in a few conditions for my own benefit as well. I identified Buffalo Bill by name. And if the girl is found in time, Senator Martin will have you transferred to Brushy Mountain State Prison in Tennessee. Answer me, Hannibal. You answer me now, or by God, you'll never leave this cell. Who is Buffalo Bill?
His first name is Louis. I tell the rest of the senator herself, but only in Tennessee. And I have a few conditions of my own.
Clean him up and get him ready to go.
But it's the old story, isn't it? Set a thief to catch a thief. So to catch someone that's a serial killer, you get someone that's been there, done that, knows what they're doing. And he almost sees it as a game. He's saying they need him more than he needs them. And he's playing each and every person. And he's using this situation to his advantage to manipulate every single person, teasing out these little clues. What do we covet? We covet what we see every day. And okay, so he's got to be someone. So he knows exactly who it is. He knows exactly who Buffalo Bill is. He knows, he's probably worked it out weeks before who it is, but he's teasing out these little bits of information so he can use it to his advantage. And they think they're all being very, very, very clever using Dr. Lecter to get all this stuff. But no, he's actually using them. And it's the scenes between him and Clarice, which are absolutely classic, absolutely iconic. But the story itself, the layers and layers and layers in the story, yes, it's slow paced. Yes, it can come across as a bit arch at times and a bit melodramatic. And I mean, it's a 35-year-old film. Things were done differently there. We didn't have the natural sort of style we've got now. But as a piece of cinema history, it's still effective to this day. My son turned 18 2 years ago. One of the first things he did when he was 18 was get a tattoo. And the tattoo he got was the death's head moth from Silence of the Lambs, because his generation appreciates what an iconic piece of cinema it actually is. It's praising it. It's not one of my favourite films of all time. It's not even in my top 100 favourite films of all time. But what an affecting film. What a reach this film had, way, way beyond the sort of 90 minutes or so of its runtime, and the effect it's still having today. I mean, it spawned the sequel novel, the Hannibal novel, the Hannibal film. I like the Hannibal novel. I like the music in the film. I think the music in the opera scene is just stunning. But like James, was it really necessary? I think it was just like Partridge says, they're popular. Let's make more of them. Red Dragon was made then with Anthony Hopkins as Lecter, remade, and it was good to have a different take on what I think is a better story than Silence of the Lambs. It's a much more involved story with the so-called Tooth Fairy than Buffalo Bill. But as much as I thought the story was better, I didn't think the performance was better, because you almost get the diminishing returns. And Silence of the Lambs, taken on its own, in isolation, is a piece of cinema history. And I'm going to stop there.
Tell me, Senator, did you nurse Catherine yourself?
What?
Did you breastfeed her?
Now, wait a minute. Yes, I did.
Toughened your nipples, didn't it?
Oh, son of a bitch.
Amputate a man's leg and he can still feel it tickling. Tell me, Mom, when your little girl is on the slab, where will it tickle you?
Take this thing back to Baltimore.
5'10", strongly built, about 180 pounds. Hair blonde, eyes pale blue. He'd be about 35 now. He said he lived in Philadelphia, but may have lied. That's all I can remember, Mom. But if I think of any more, I will let you know. Oh, and Senator, just one more thing. Love your suit.
I should never really let you two go before me, should I? Because I never really have anything else to say. Bloody hell. What do I add to that? Well, I don't know, guys. Maybe this is in my head, yeah. But there's a few. I love it, but there's a few issues I have with it as well. Okay, so let's start with let's start with my issues. Okay, so Hannibal Lecter is strapped to a what do you call it, like a little wheel truck thing, yeah. How does he get the pen?
Don't remember.
Well, no, we never see it. It just happens to appear subsequently. But I don't know. How does he do it? I don't know. Unless is it Barney or whatever it is on the gate? Is it on it with him? Anyway, that's one issue. And also, but I suppose that's why they've got the guns. He's behind this thing where it's like you can't even give him a piece of paper that's got a staple in it, and yet somehow they have to go in there to strap him to the truck thing. What do you call? I don't. What you do? What do you call that thing?
Gurney.
Gurney. Yeah,
yeah.
that's it.
Yeah.
That'll do. Yeah. So that's it. So how do they do that? I mean, I'm probably just splitting hairs here, really. But anyway, yeah. So apart from those two little bits, I love it. The thing is, obviously, Jodie Foster gives a great performance, and she is obviously sort of the constant that's in it. But at the end of it, all the other people just have little parts, really. Even heck, Lecter's not in it loads, but if you think about it, you've got Buffalo Bill, you've got Crawford, you've got Chilton, and then you've got Lecter. I reckon if you actually timed how much screen time they've got, they probably don't have that much screen time, I suspect. And yet they're immensely powerful. Chilton, it really gets on my nerves though. And he actually looks like more of a psycho than Lecter does in some of the scenes. He's just like he just does. He just does. But yeah, that's quite an interesting chat, really, because it's made me think about it. Because I thought, oh, I enjoyed it, but I can kind of see what you're saying as well, James. Do I finish that and think I've enjoyed it, or I don't know? Actually, now it's starting me make my question myself. But it is undeniably a fantastic piece of film, and it doesn't feel like 90 minutes. I'm always fairly critical on with films. I usually say, yeah, it was 20 minutes too long. It was half an hour. And that could have gone on for longer for me, and I would have actually been okay with it. So that's probably saying something, to be fair. Jodie, when you come on to have a chat with us next week, you can fill us in. So yeah, really, no, fantastic. I'm not going to say much more than that. I will probably insert a couple of the French and Saunders ones though in, like the Crankies in one of the cells instead, just because it's just hilarious. But you are right, Ed. Yeah, I mean you're both right. Yeah, those are scenes which could be parodied, and everyone knows what you're talking about straight away. And there's not many films that do that. I mean, that film is just in everyone's memory somewhere, isn't it? Yeah, even if you've not seen it, actually.
It's like Casablanca, Jaws, it's The Godfather, Rocky. It's one of those level of the original Star Wars. It's one of those levels of films that even if you haven't seen it, you know what it's about. Like everyone says, play it again, Sam, even though that's not in the film. But everyone knows lines from Casablanca because it's such a big thing. Everyone knows. Even if you've not seen Jaws, if someone plays that, you'll know it's Jaws. And the same with Silence of the Lambs.
Yeah, no, it's very true. There are some films you just don't even need to have seen. Like if somebody said we need a bigger boat, we know what that's from.
Yeah,
you just know. Yeah, it's obviously from The Howling 2, which I'm also got on in the background. I've also got it on. I've got Howling 2 on here in the background as well. That's my life. But so we should probably do that actually, Ed. Dust that down. You've got the DVD, I think you said somewhere.
I've got the DVD. I've never watched it. I've got the DVD there.
Well, I'll be honest, I'm not entirely sure you do want to watch it, but as it's been playing in the background. But we might do it because that's what we like to do. Could I say anything else that would add any value? And on that bombshell, we have been both sides sometimes. Cool. It's goodbye from me.
And it's goodbye from me.
And it's goodbye from me.
Your father would have been proud today. Don't forget your phone call.
Starling.
Well, Clarice, have the lambs stopped screaming?
Dr. Lecter.
Don't bother with the trace. I won't be on long enough.
Where are you, Dr. Lecter?
I have no plans to call on you, Clarice. The world's more interesting with you in it. So you take care now to extend me the same courtesy.
You know I can't make that promise.
I do wish we could chat longer, but I'm having an old friend for dinner. Bye.
Dr. Lecter. Dr. Lecter. Dr. Lecter. Dr. Dr. Lecter?
Oh, excuse me, I'm sorry. You have the security system all set up?
We have the big flexibility.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate that.